Hello. Hi, guys. See, already one person is there. Hello, my people. I have come early, 4 minutes early, to see so that I can give people time to join me. My microphone keeps on running away. Hello, people. Come on, guys. I think I should turn off my computer here. Hello. Hello, people. Hi. How are you doing? I'm here. How are you doing? I'm gonna give it. I came live 5 minutes before so that I can give it 9 minutes for people to join me today, guys. I can see one person there. Please type your name there and say hi. I will acknowledge you as usual. I am going to acknowledge your name. You just need to type there, say hi, tell me where you are, tell me what time it is, and I am going to acknowledge you guys. For people, this is Charities Bubble USA, your #1 channel. I am waiting for you guys to join me today. We have a live show this Saturday afternoon. It's 11:57. Actually, it's still morning. We have 3 minutes to noon. And we are going to talk about stuff. We always come here and talk about stuff. I need you to ask me questions if you have any. I need you to ask me questions. Any question you can ask there, and I am going to answer it. Let me see who is there. And I am going to acknowledge people here in a little bit. So please share this video. Give it a thumbs up. 8 people there joining me this morning. It's a few minutes to noon. It's 11:58 a.m. here in the US. 11:58 a.m. I'm clipping my microphone there so that it doesn't run away. So guys, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing fine. It's been a while. I think my last live I did it on Monday, I believe, because I like to come live on Monday and Saturday. That fits my schedule. And I also thank you guys for watching my videos. I really appreciate when you watch my video. I really appreciate those thumbs up, those comments that you leave on my YouTube page. I really appreciate them. So I'm going to give people 4 minutes to join us, and then we are going to go on. I have some questions that I am going to answer, and we can talk about a certain topic. I have so much to talk about to you today. So please share this video, give it a thumbs up. I normally like to come to see how you guys are doing, to see if you have any questions, to tell you more about the US, so that you can know just as we wait for next year. And also I've talked about some more of life in the USA, what we do here, because I want you guys to be prepared. I need you guys to be prepared. I see people are typing there. Type your name there, guys. And I am going to acknowledge you here in a little bit. I am going to acknowledge you guys, 10 people there watching. Thank you. Thank you for joining Charities Bubble USA, your #1 channel. I am here. Guys. I'm here, guys, and I am waiting for you to join me. It's 12 p.m. In the afternoon now. Here in the US, I believe it is 1900. No, yeah, 1900. Maybe, yeah, 1900 in Cameroon. Someone typed there. Gonna acknowledge that person here in a little bit. Please join us in this live show. I am going to talk about some questions that I have seen in my WhatsApp group. I am also going to talk about other questions that you might have that you will ask me here on my live show. And that's how we roll. That's how we roll, guys. And thank you for joining me this afternoon, guys. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I see people are coming on. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Let me call some people here. Thank you. Thank you for joining me this morning. It is 12:01 a.m., so we only have 3 more minutes, and I am going to acknowledge some people. It is good to give people time to come in, just to prepare to come in so that we can have more people join us. But after 4 minutes, I like to acknowledge people so that we can get it done. Because you find that I've realized that when I do my live shows, at the end there are so many questions, so that's why I like to give people time to come on, and then you can have time to type your questions so that I can have enough time to answer your question. I am live here in the USA in Wichita, Kansas. So many people have been asking me which state that I live in. I live in Wichita, Kansas. I am live here in my basement. I told you that I do my live shows in my basement. That's why I've set up my studio. So thank you for joining me this afternoon. It's cold outside. We are in winter. It's very, very cold outside. So we are just staying indoors because it's very, very cold, 12 or 2 p.m. in the morning. So in 2 minutes, I am going to start acknowledging people. I started early. Like I said, I started early so that I could give you guys time to come on, so that I can acknowledge you. If you are live and you're watching me live, type your name there, say hi, tell me where you are, and I am going to acknowledge you here in a few minutes. Here in a few minutes, we only have like 1 minute and a half before I start acknowledging people. And it is good to say hi. I am doing fine, guys. I am doing fine. I have missed my live shows, but I just like to stick to Saturday and Monday because that's when I have time. I don't want to say that I'm gonna come live on another time and I don't make it because I have a certain schedule. I told you guys when you come here in the US, there's a schedule that you have to follow religiously, because if you do not, if you do not, you will find yourself in trouble. So I follow a certain schedule, guys. I only have 1 minute and I am going to start acknowledging some people. I see that some people have typed there. If you have a question, this is the right time to ask your questions before we start. So 12:03 p.m. In a few seconds here, I am going to start acknowledging people this morning. Type your name there. Tell me where you are. Tell me how you're doing, and I will acknowledge you. It makes me. Sometimes people type and they say you need to call my name. So I like to acknowledge each and every person who comes on my live show, because I feel like privilege when you guys come just to listen to what I am saying, guys. 12 or 4 p.m. So I am going to start acknowledging people here. Valdex, Chopo, hi ma'am. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Adam Saidu, hello. How are you doing? I hope you are doing fine. Thank you for joining me. Valdex Chopo again. Hi Valdex from Cameroon. Thank you for watching me from Cameroon. Esther Mwangi, hi. I love to listen to your content in Nairobi. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Susan Ogutu, hi Charity. Rosa, hi Charity. Valdex to Chopo, 1859. Thank you for that time. Susan Ogutu, 2 minutes to 9 p.m. Thank you. That is in Kenya. Mary Musuya. I hope that I have pronounced. Oh my gosh. I have pronounced your name correctly as Susan Musuya. Hello, Charity, tuned in from Ruaka, Kiambu County. Thank you for joining me. Winnie Jerry. Remember, guys, to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for that, Winnie Jerry, for just championing for me, guys. I really do appreciate you guys, because, like I tell you, when you give my video a thumbs up, YouTube recommends my video, and they share it with other people out there to watch it. So, guys, I really appreciate when you give the video a thumbs up. Even when you make a comment, even a hi, it's good, it's okay. It keeps me going. Viona Jebkos Gay. Hi, hello, how are you doing? Lucy Wanjiro, hi Charity Kericho Kenya, thank you for joining me. Eunice Mwehaki, hello Charity, thank you for joining me. Caro Zaimbo, hello, how are you? I am doing fine, Caro, and thank you for joining me this afternoon. Hi, Retab, hi Charity, watching you from Lebanon. Thank you for joining me. That is in the Middle East. Sweet Maureen, hello Charity. That is thanks for all the information that you managed to share with us. What advice would you give a mother who would love to take nursing as a career once they get there? I am going to answer that question. So Sweet Maureen. Susan Botte tuned in. Great content. Thank you a lot. Mary Musuya, I've pronounced, but you have pronounced my name correctly. Sometimes I laugh at myself because I still have, sometimes the English, it just comes out and then you're like, oh my gosh, what did I even say? All right, Elisa Shiro, hi Charity. I like listening to you. From Kitale, Kenya. Rahab Kibugi, hi Charity. Tuned in from Nairobi, Kenya. So thank you guys for joining me. 16 people are watching there. Tab Shiro, hello Charity. Guys, thank you for joining me this afternoon. Now, let's talk about this question about a mother who would love to take nursing as a career, and she is single. Did she say that? No. What advice would you give a mother who would love to take nursing as a career once they get there? So now I am a mother, and I think I can answer that question correctly, and I am also a nurse. Now, when you have kids, it's a little bit tricky because, like I said in my previous video, if you watched my previous video, when you come here in the US, the first thing that you will do is look for a job that you are going to be able to sustain your family because you are starting from scratch. When you come, just know that you're starting life all over. It does not matter what you are doing in your country. You have to come and start afresh. That is because even if you have a side license for any profession, you will not be allowed to practice without without a permit or without a license. So that one, we have to be clear on that. Even if you're a professor or whatever, you have to have a permit. So the first thing that you will do when you come here is to look for a job that you will get you going, get you starting off your life. And that is why I said it doesn't matter whether you want to go and work in a store, in a supermarket, you want to go and work in a factory, it's okay. If you want to go and work in healthcare as an aide, it's okay, because that is the lowest that you can start. You always have to start from the lowest. Now, after that, maybe you have settled. You have to settle first. It's good to settle. Maybe you will give yourself like 1 year to settle, because you find that if you are coming as a parent, before like you get used to the life in the US and all that, you will take some time. But then after that, you can apply for a school. Now, of course, if you have your Form 4 certificate, what will happen is that you will go to the college that you want to go to. 19 people, thank you for joining me this afternoon. So when you go to the college, you will give them your transcript. A transcript is that certificate, that a high school certificate. And then they are not able to interpret it. So what they normally do, they refer you to a certain organization online, and then you submit your documents. When you submit your documents, then they are going to get the results or the equivalency from that organization online, and then they will know where you are at that time. And then when you go to college, normally what happens is that you will do an entrance test, like something to gauge where are you in English, where are you in math. You normally do English, writing, English reading, and English math, those three, and sometimes they give you science. So you find that they do not want you to score they don't have like a certain a certain percentage that they want you to score so that you can join the college. No, what they want to know is where you are at. And then after that, you will do your prerequisites. Now, for me, because I was a parent, and when you're a parent, there's so many dynamics that go on, because you have to take care of your kids. Your kids are in school, you have to go and pick them up, you have to attend them. There's so much that's going on. And you find that I told you guys, here in the US, it is an individual life. You cannot rely on other people, that other people are going to be helping you out. No, you have to plan how you will be doing your stuff by yourself as an individual, because you won't even hire a house girl. So what I did is that my prerequisites, I did them online, because they have that option of doing online. Maybe there are some classes that you cannot do online, maybe like anatomy and physiology, or maybe chemistry, that you have to go to class and do labs. But I remember when I did actually my anatomy and physiology, because I did it at home, I did it online. They had a website set for lab, whereby I did even my labs online. So it's just like you're in a class, because then they tell you all the instructions and you do them. So most of my prerequisites, because you have to do prerequisites, those are classes that you will have to take before you enter your nursing school. Those ones I did them online, which was easy, because after I'm done with my kids, I could do my homework and whatever at night. So you can do online your prerequisites, because that's how I did, and that's how I was successful. And then from there, after you're done with your prerequisites, of course, they are going to tell you where to start. And like I told you, it depends on your range, because let's assume like it's like math. So math, they tell you where to start. Maybe you find that depending on your grade, they will tell you maybe you will start with algebra with review, or maybe they will tell you to start with intermediate algebra, depending on where you are. That is why you have to send your transcript where they will tell you, so that they know where you will fit in the math. And then, so that is what will determine the classes that you will do. Then after you have done, because you find that when you're doing a certain major or any class, they have certain classes that you must do, and that is what I am calling prerequisites. So those ones I did online. And then after that, you will go to a class called you'll go to a test called nursing entrance test. That one you have to pass with a certain percentage, and every college gives you a certain range where you have to pass. So after you have passed that exam is normally, there are some people who call it a TIS test. Other colleges call it the Kaplan test. 20 people are watching me. Thank you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and make a comment there, ask a question. I am going to read your questions, guys. So I'm answering a question for Sweet Maureen. That's what I'm answering, about how to go to college when you're a parent. So when I was done, so you'd go and do your entrance test after you pass. And I told you guys, I did that test 3 times. I was kind of discouraged, but I did it because it's hard, especially the English part. The math is not hard, but English, guys, it's so hard. And it is not hard because you haven't learned English, and because you do not English. It is the words, the vocabulary, because you find that there's some words that are there and you have to interpret them and write. So those ones become a little bit hard. So it took me time before I knew that kind of English. I read a lot of books, I read a lot of passages until I got it. Now, after that, you will be admitted to the nursing school. The nursing school, you have to go to class like in person. So I did not go direct to do registered nurse. I went and did LPN, licensed practical nurse, of which there are two programs. You can do the accelerated program, whereby you go for 2 semesters, or you can do the slow one where you can go for 3 semesters. So it depends on you. But for me, I did the accelerated program. It's because I had support. My husband was supporting me, because you have to think about your bills. You always have to think about your bills, even when you are going to school, even as a parent, even if you are a student, it doesn't matter. You have to think about your bills, because bills will come every month. They have to be paid. So you have to look. I could see that some people were going to for the longer program. That one for 3 semesters, they would go to school at 5 in the evening, and then they would leave at 11, which is okay, because that fits. Because maybe you can watch your kids, and then maybe you go to school, and there's still some time that you will go, that you can have some hours to go to work. Because here you find that you can even have a job that you will be going for 4 hours part time, as long as you're making something. Because as a parent, you will always have to make something. But if you have a good support, and that is why I say, like, when you are married, when you're coming here, you have to be together, like together. You have to work together, because you won't say that maybe it's a man. He won't say that I'm not going to take care of the kids because it's a woman's job. No, you have to help each other. So for me, I have a very good support system. So I was able to go to for 2 semesters, the accelerated one, and then I did my test, and that is how I became a nurse. Now, after I became a nurse, of course, I wanted to become an RN, but I couldn't. So I waited. I have practiced nursing for now 3 years, and now this is the time that I am going to do my RN to become a registered nurse. But I have a practice as a licensed practical nurse. So it depends. But depending on the support system that you have, you can go direct and do the RN program. It's going to take you 2 years after you have done your prerequisites, which is okay. So that is how you go about it. You have to like have that strategy for you to be successful, especially if you want to go to school. Like I say, it's always good when you come here, when you look back 5 years later after coming to the US, what have you done? That's what you should ask yourself. So you find that it is always good. Do not be discouraged. There is that strategy that you will go through, and then you are able to be successful. Because most people do they just do it. It's doable. It's doable. What I can tell you is doable, even if you are a parent like me. Right now, I'm going for my RN. Actually, I start school in January, so I will still go and do my classes, and then I will graduate. So it depends on your will. So, but it's doable when you are a parent. So let's see. So I've answered that question. So I was at Tapshiro. January Boy. Hi, Charity Tune from Imara Daima. Thank you. Grace Wairimu, my friend there. Hello, Charity. Thanks for good work and us on the USA Live. Thank you. Veronica Wangari. Hi, Charity. I am from Nanyuki. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Susan Ogutu. On the same note, I'm a single mother. I'd also love to do nursing once I get to US. Would you advise how I will navigate myself since my daughter is barely 2 years old? You find that there is daycare. And I told you guys, when you are in school, you find that you can apply for daycares that you can be helped. And you find that you give your income, and of course you tell them that you are in school and you get help. When you are a permanent resident, there are so many resources that can help you. Even if daycare is expensive, because it's very expensive, you find that depending on your income, and when you are single, you find that you go and apply, you tell them your income, you tell them that you are in school. So instead of paying a lot of money, you get money that is paid for you for your baby, and maybe you just pay a little bit. There is that help. You just need to know the right channel. And like I told you guys, even when you want to come and do CNA or whatever, when you're a permanent resident, do not go to pay. You find that in your state, like in our state, we find that there is this place called workforce. Those people, they will train you for free and they get you a job. And that is where I went. So instead of going to pay $600 for CNA, another $600 for my med aid, and another like $400 for home health, I went free of charge. It was free of charge, and then I went to work. So there are those resources. When you're a permanent resident, always ask for those resources. And you find that when you're coming in the US, they will give you a book that will tell you, welcome to America. Now that book, read it. There are so many resources there that you can get help. So you can get a lot of help when you're a permanent resident, guys. So always be able to read, be able to have that courage to walk into our office and ask, because it doesn't cost you to ask anything, but you have to ask. If you do not ask, you will not know. I told you guys how we live here in the US. We ask about our stuff. We just go walk in an office and we ask, and you get a lot of information. So it's very important for you to do that. So, excuse me for a minute. It's you can do that. So as a single mother, you still do it. People have done it like that. And also sometimes you can say maybe you'll invite your parents. Sometimes it becomes hard, because when I had invited my mom for the first time, she didn't get a visa. But you can still see if you can invite them to come and help with the baby. You can do that. So it depends. But if you have the will to do it, I know it is doable. When you are here, it is very, very much doable. Okay, now so what is the name of the school where you did your nursing? I went to Wichita. You know, I live in a place called Wichita, so I just went to a technical college, Wichita. It is called WSU Tech. That is where I went and did my nursing. Okay, Jerry Mwangi tuned in from Nairobi. Betty Usangi, sorry I'm late, but tuned in from Katani. Just landed here. Thank you for joining me. Red Musiomi, watching from Kenya. You are doing a great job. Thank you, guys. And I always appreciate you. 24 people are watching me. I always appreciate when you watch my videos. I always appreciate when you ask me questions. So do not hesitate, if you want to ask a question, to type it on my YouTube channel. And then I will answer your question. I will answer your question always. Now, there's a question here that I had been asked about let me see. Where's the question? Okay, I have a question about becoming a USA citizen. I'm reading from the WhatsApp group. As a permanent resident, do you acquire citizenship immediately after applying for it if all your records are clean? No, you don't. When you come here as a permanent resident, you stay for 5 years, 5 good years before you become a US citizen. And your green card is 10 years. It is 10 years, and you will wait. But in 5 years, you can apply for your citizenship. As we applied for citizenship when we were 6 years. So you're not going to come in and become a citizen direct. No, you have to come, know about US, live here, they want you to get accustomed and of course decide whether you're going to become a US citizen or not. Because there are still some people who do not want to become US citizens and they are not going to force you. So those people who do not want to become US citizens, what they normally do is that they renew their green card after every 10 years. They go and renew their green cards. People are different. There are some people who will come, they will love this country and they will want to live here forever. So they become US citizens. Other people do not want to become US citizens. So what they do, they renew their citizenship every 10 years. So they always give you that period for you to know the life about here, to know what to do. And then after that, then you can decide. In 5 years is good time for you to decide whether you want to become a US citizen or not. And of course, remember, there's that video I said about a permanent resident, the things that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to file your taxes. You're supposed to make sure that your criminal record is clean. Because you find that if you come here and you have a lot of criminal history that is bad, you find that they will not renew your green card. They are not going to do that. So you always have to be a law-abiding citizen. That is what I can say. The other question was, after becoming a US citizen back at home, does it affect your citizenship? No, there are some countries that it does. I know Tanzania, for you to become a US citizen, you have to renounce your citizenship in Tanzania and become a US citizen. Because I have friends who have become citizens, but they had to renounce to say they are not Tanzanian citizens anymore, but they are whatever. But I know in Kenya, there is dual citizenship, if I'm not wrong. I think there is dual citizenship. So it depends on the country that you are from. There are some who you can have dual citizenship and there are some that you cannot. So it depends. But when you are a US citizen, then you are a US citizen. So it depends on whatever you want. That's a choice that you make for yourself, whether to become a citizen or not. And then what is the cost of applying for US citizenship as a green card holder? Now, at the price, I think we paid $750 for each person. So it's a process. You pay, and then you wait for them to do a background check, because they always have to do a background check on you. And then they will call you for an interview for fingerprinting, because they have to check your fingers, and then they give you a little book with 100 questions that you have to study and know all of them, because when you go for your interview, they will ask you some questions from there and you must pass those questions for you to become a US citizen. You have to know their history, you have to know all the stuff about US before you become a US citizen. So that's another process after you have been here about the US citizen. So the first thing is win your green card, or maybe get a green card by marriage, or maybe come here as a student. And when you come up here as a student, then you can meet someone, you can fall in love with someone and get married, and you'll get your citizenship in 3 years, So you find that there are so many ways, but there's a process that goes through. Okay. Now, hi Charity, also address, when traveling outside of the US as a green card holder, when returning, will you need a visa? Am I you're good? No, you don't need a visa. Your green card, I wish I had my green card, but they took my green card when I became a US citizen. That green card, when you are traveling, you go with it and then you come back. As long as you have it, you're good to go. You do not need to go back to the embassy to get a green card. Let me see. Oh yeah. So let's see. Okay, also enlighten us on the type of marriage certificates required, civil marriage certificate or religious marriage certificate, or any of the two. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you have a valid marriage certificate. Because when you go to church, the pastor, when they give you the marriage certificate, they have to file. They have to take it to the authorities for it to be a valid one. Or maybe you go to the attorney general or whatever. It doesn't matter as long as it's a valid marriage certificate. Okay. Let me see. Where was I? Am I lost? Okay, I've answered that. So, hello, Charity Susan Mwenja. Hi, Charity, just tuned in from Nakuru, Kenya. Carol Zambo, what is the name of the school? I said about that. Tuned it from Nairobi, that is Jerry Mwangi, Betty Unsangi. Sorry, I'm late, but tuned it from Katani. Red Musiomi, watching from Kenya, you're doing a great job. Kim Williams, watching from Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for joining me. Simple Ways. Ma'am, do you know about USA reserves, Army, hair and beard regulation? No, I don't know about the hair and beard regulation. What I know about the US Army is that when you come here as a permanent resident, when you are 18 and over, you can enlist to become a US Army. And before you go to become, like, they give you that job after training, before you go for training, then you become a US citizen. So you become a US citizen faster when you have enlisted in the whatever in the military. You become a US citizen first. And you know, military people, they have the advantages. There are so many, they have so many advantages. So it's good if someone wants to come and they want to enlist. When you are over 18 years old, you are required to go and enlist. All right. Let's see. So I don't know about the beard regulation. Unless I read about that, I can read about it and maybe answer it another time. But about the beard regulation, I don't know. You know, nowadays men are just having that big beard and whatever. It's nice, but I don't know. So I don't know about the beard regulation. Susan Monja, kindly share the link to the WhatsApp group. I will do that. Esther Mangi, before becoming a citizen in these 5 years, are you allowed to go to and from your origin country? Yes, you can. You are allowed to go, but you're not allowed to overstay for like 1 year or all that time. If you want to overstay for 1 year, you have to go to the immigration in your whatever, in your city, and ask for a letter that will help you to come back. Because when you come to the US as a permanent resident, those 5 years, they want to see, are you preparing yourself for a life in the US, or you still want to go back? You see what I mean? So they want to see that commitment. But you know, you find that if you become a permanent resident, because I remember there was another viewer who was asking me, when you become a US a permanent resident, can they send your green card in Kenya? No, they cannot. They have to send it to the address in the US, because that's US property. They have to send it here. The same thing. They will want to see. So if you become a permanent resident and you go back to Kenya and stay there for like 2 years and then you want to come back, then they will see this person is not ready they do not want to have a new life here. You see? So if you want to go, you can still go for 1 year, but you have to go and report and have a paper that will allow them to let you back in. You will have that, because they will question, why did you stay for a whole year outside there? You know, because when you get a green card, 26 people are watching me. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So when you join, then they want to see that commitment. You see what I mean? They want to see that commitment. Of course, now when you become a citizen, it's a different thing. You can go and stay as much as you want, and then you come back. So it depends on whatever that you want. So nobody is gonna ask you when you're a permanent resident. The people, and I told you, like the people who live in the US, especially when you're interacting with them, or maybe you're looking for something with them, it is always good to ask, what is your status? Because people have different statuses here in the US. We have permanent residents, we have US citizens, we have people who came as students and they refuse to go back. We have people who came as visitors and they refuse to go back. They're here. You might not know them because people do not acknowledge, but they are there and they don't talk about it, but they're here. So you find that, let's assume like someone has come, someone is going to the US, right? And maybe they have been invited and they go and they stay there and they never come back home. Why they never go back home is because when they go back, they will never be allowed to come back, because maybe they have overstayed their visa. And what I say is that if you come to the US as a visitor, or you come to the US as a student, instead of violating your visa, why not ask the options that you can follow and just make your visa to stay or not to be violated? Because, for example, you can come as a student. 27 people. Thank you guys for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate you for just being with me. So let's assume that you've come here as a visitor, right? You are invited, but then you came here, but then you saw something interesting, maybe like a college. Why not go to the immigration office and tell them, I came here as a visitor, but I have seen a college that I am interested in. They are not going to stop you from going to become a whatever, a student. No, they will not. So that way, you are not going to violate your visa. Because if you violate your visa, normally what happens is that when those 5 years are over, when you're given for 5 years, and it depends with countries. I know Kenya is 5 years. When you violate your visa, you find that if you go back, you can never come back. And if you, of course, they won't come to find you wherever that you are. But if you are involved in stuff, or maybe they become suspicious or whatever, you find that some people, they're given some time to go back home. I've seen people who have been given a deadline. They're told, by this time, you have to go back home. You see what I mean? So it depends. For me, what I say is that if I had come with a different thing, and maybe I wanted to stay, and even if you are a student and you finish college, maybe you can look for an employer and see if they can file for you, because there's those visas that employers file for people. If they are whatever, and that's why most people come to do nursing, or they come to healthcare, because you find that in healthcare there will always be something. Like right now, I told you guys that we have a shortage of healthcare. Now, like, they're imposing this law of the COVID that everybody must have a COVID vaccine. Let me tell you guys, the people who have lost their jobs or they have walked out on their jobs because they do not want the COVID vaccine, there are so many. There are very many people. So you find that brings a gap. Hmm? That's a gap. So let's assume that you are a student, you are in college, and you did nothing. So you go and you work for your employer very well and whatever, and maybe you go and talk to them. You're like, maybe can I get a work permit or whatever? You have to be able to go and ask, because most people, they don't. What I have realized about US, especially as immigrants who have come to live here, is that we always have that fear of sitting at the back seat. When you come here in the US, you find that even your kids, they are going to change. Now, my kids, you find that when I'm with them, even I'm interacting with them, and I tell them, let me do it for you, they're like, no, I can do it for myself, because that's how you should be. Do it for yourself. Go and inquire. How can you get help? Because there's always those helps that you can get. There's always those helps that you can get, guys. So let's see, whatever, and then another thing, so I've talked about you can go back home. There's dual citizenship in Kenya. Susan Monja has told us, she says, so there's dual citizen. You can still be an American citizen and you're still a Kenyan citizen. So Esther Wanjiro, hi Charity, watching you from Eldoret. Okay, thanks a lot. Also, in regards, this is Suits Maureen, to the video of your husband business. Please, can you do another video of the requirements needed? Now, that business, you find that if you want to do business in the US, you find that you have to have a permit. You have to have a permit. And normally what he does is he just buys a house and then he goes and renovates it. He will renovate it and then he will sell it. He will sell it. But you find that even if he's working on it by himself, like the video that I showed you, that he's working it on himself, there are some parts that he cannot do. For example, something like air conditioning. That one he cannot do because he does not have that permit. So he will still have to go and get that person for the air conditioning so that they can come and do the air conditioning. You see what I mean? So there are some parts that he really cannot do. But you find that because he's doing that business, that is his own house. That is your property that you have bought. It's your own property. You can do with it whatever that you want. You can sell it. You can decide to rent it because it is yours. But he has another business that he does whereby he does moving and whatever. That one he has a permit because it's a business. So you just go and tell them, this is what I will be doing. You go to the city and they give you a permit for the work that you are doing. Now, if you are something like a plumber or you are something like electrician, now that one, when you go to school, you will go and do a test and you will get a license for doing that. So there are so many categories of jobs that you can do. Others, they require you go to school and you get the license. Others, they do not. For example, if you want to be moving people from one place to another, or maybe you want to be collecting people's junk, that one you don't. What you need is a license from the city. You need a license for the city so that you can do that work. You see what I mean? So there are so many. What I can say is that there are so many things that you can do, but you find that you always have to have a permit from the city that you are doing that job. And still it comes in when you're filing your taxes, because when you're filing your taxes and you have a permit, of course, you'll tell them, this is my permit, this is the work that I do, and then this is my returns, and then you file, because you have to file your taxes every year, depending on whatever you're doing, whether it's business or whatever that you're doing. So it depends, guys, on the area that you are on. It depends on the area you're on, whether you need a permit or whether you need to go to school and get like a license. Like me, I am a nurse. I cannot get a permit. I have to get a license to practice. And you find that when you get a license to practice, every 2 years you have to renew your license. That means that every 2 years you will go in and do a test, like a review test every 2 years, and then you will renew your permit. You pay for it so that it can be valid. So you find that these licenses, they're renewed like his. I know he renews his every year. So it depends, because you have to be current all the time. Everything has to be current. So it depends. And what I can tell you guys is that when you come here in the US, ask the people who know. And if you find that people are not willing to help, because not everybody will be willing to help you here in the US. Like I tell you guys, most of the stuff that we have known by ourselves. As we're not scared of going to anywhere and going to ask. We go to ask. Even if we fail this time, we find that the next time we'll get it correct. So, guys, do not worry about that, whatever license or whatever. When you come here, you find that you will get so many resources, and also even in the internet, there is so much information that tells you if you want to start a business, this is what you do, this is what you do. So the information is here. It's not like Kenya or the African countries whereby before you get an information, someone is not going to even tell you even where to pass. They won't tell you. Maybe they want you to pay them, or they will, even your own friend is not going to tell you where you can benefit. Now here is different. It's very, very different. But you find that I told you guys, when you come here, do not come with the mindset that when I go, my fellow Kenyans are going to help me, my fellow Tanzanians. No, they will not help you, especially if you come here with a green card. They are not going to help you. They don't. Like, they just don't. That's my opinion. But I know that they do not help you, especially when you come here with a green card. Oh my gosh, they will not. All right. Dual citizenship doesn't work in Kenya. I don't know about that, about the dual citizenship, but it depends on whether you want to become a US citizen or not. Okay. Okay. What are some of the benefits of becoming a US citizen? Watching from Ghana. Now, when you become a US citizen, you find that you can walk, you can go to any country with nobody to ask you. Anywhere. If I want to board a plane right now and go to England, I want to go to Greece, I want to go to Turkey, they will not stop me from entering their country simply because I am a US citizen. So when you are a US citizen, like, you have that benefit. When you are a US citizen, if you want maybe to adopt a child, you want to file for your parents or whatever, you find that there is a certain time, a certain duration that the papers are supposed to be processed and everything. As a US citizen, you find that your time doesn't exceed. It's not like a permanent resident. For example, a permanent resident can apply maybe for a parent to come and live with them here, because they can still do that. You find that I can apply as a citizen and the resident can apply, but you find that the resident time might be longer than mine because I'm a US citizen. So there are so many benefits. Of course, when you are a US citizen, you find that you can get a federal job, in a federal. For example, if I wanted to go and work maybe somewhere in the, because we have the state and we have the federal government. Or the federal government is the president and all that stuff. But the state is, inside the state, there's a governor. You find that if I want a job, like, for example, I've always loved to go and work with the veterans. And you find that because I was a permanent resident, I couldn't apply. But now that I am a US citizen, I can go and work in a federal job. Any federal job you apply, you can be hired. It's very easy when you are a US citizen. So there are those benefits you get as a US citizen. Of course, traveling. You want to travel anywhere in the world, you are free. You have that passport. That is the mother of all passports that you have. Now, keenly listening, Anthony Kangete, thank you for joining me. Malelo Sarif, hi. Kabangala Haman. I'm here listening carefully. Lisa Kinodia, hello Charity. Thank you for so much for the information. Carlos Zambo, can someone who did early childhood education teaching work as healthcare assistant in the US? You know, a healthcare assistant, maybe I think you're talking about a CNA. You can, but you need that course. And of course, I told you, if you don't want to work as CNA, you can whatever. But if you're focused on going to teach, you find that you go to the college and ask them, how do I upgrade? I was a teacher. You give them all your transcript. How do I upgrade? So like I told you, it all depends on your transcripts. So if you have a diploma or you have a degree or whatever that you have in teaching, when you go to the college, they will tell you this is what you will do for you to be certified or for you to have that license to do teaching. It's going to be easier for you because you won't be like someone who is starting from scratch to become a teacher. You see what I mean? 30 people are watching us. Thank you guys for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate you. Carol A. Daniel, thank you for joining me there. Murori Chege, hello Charity. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. There's another question that I had been asked here. I like to go through a question. This one is saying that they are lost. I am talking about questions, Esther. I hope that you are live. I'm not able to type right now. So will I become a US citizen when I win my green card? I can't tell you that it's 100% that you will become a US citizen when you win a green card. No, I will not. But there are things that will stop you from becoming a US citizen. For example, if you become here and you commit crimes, that one, you will not become a US citizen, like for sure. And you find that even when you're filling your DS-260, because you guys will come to fill the DS-260 when you win your green card, you find that they have a very big page that you answer all the questions about criminal activity. Have you been involved in drug trafficking? Have you been involved in people trafficking? All that stuff. You will talk about it. You will tell them. And of course, they will ask for your, what do we call it? The good conduct. Why? Because they want to know your criminal story. So if you have committed crimes, you are not going to become a US citizen. That's for sure. Like that one, I can assure you, like for sure, you are not going to become a US citizen. Now, let's assume you know the African way. And I like to talk about the African way because I'm an African person. Like the African way, you find that something like beating the wife, beating up the wife, or couples fighting, that is a normal thing. Because even if you go to the chief and maybe you have been beaten up by your husband, the chief will tell you, respect your husband. That's what the chief will tell you, right? But you find that here in the US, that is a crime. You cannot do that. So let's assume that you are involved in wife battering or whatever, and then you think that you are reported. Because like I told you here, the system is different. When someone is in trouble, and they call 911, the police show up in your house like in less than 5 minutes. They're there. They just come. So let's assume that you've been reported several times of beating your wife or whatever. You find that when you go to file, that one is in your record. I told you when you guys come here, you have a social. Now that social number and that social is your own information. You cannot share your social information with other people because that's your secret, your social, because it carries everything. So you find that that social follows you everywhere. That is why you find that some people are homeless. Some people cannot have jobs. Some people, and you find that, you know, there's something that I needed to tell you. You see, like the way people that, like the people they just don't have manners and they go raping small kids or whatever. If you are that kind of a person, huh, and you are arrested and you are taken to jail, you find that the judge tells you to go to a certain website and report yourself that you are a sex offender. Like you write yourself. Like someone can Google, you know, like even when you're going to rent a house somewhere, you will Google a website to see if there are sex offenders around. So you find that they have put their names there, and it tells you that location, that location, that location, that location. You find that those people, they cannot even have a house where there's a school nearby or nice neighborhoods. They cannot. They cannot. So if you are violating, you're that violator. When you do bad, those very very bad things like that people do, and then you just worry, because like sometimes I just watch stuff. I'm like, really, did that person do that to a child? So if you are that kind of a person and you come to live here, the first thing that you'll do is that you have to report yourself. You have to go to that website, enter your name there and all that. So that when the good citizens are searching for places to live or where to go or neighborhoods, they can see that there is a sex offender. You see what I mean? And you're not even allowed to go to parks or whatever. You have those limitations. So what I'm saying is that your social follows you, whatever that you did. Even let's assume that you got a ticket. A ticket is a violation that let's assume you are overspeeding, or maybe you did not put a signal when you were changing the lane, and maybe you are caught. You find that there's money that you pay for violation. That's a violation, like that's for whatever that you have done wrong. So you have that ticket. You find that it is still there in your records, although it goes away after some time, but that one is still there. So you find that your social has a lot of stuff. Let's assume that you went to the supermarket and you shoplifted. Hmm? And then you are caught because you find that there are cameras everywhere. There's a video that I did and I showed you, like, there are cameras everywhere. Everywhere there's cameras in the supermarkets and everywhere. Maybe you have that hand that likes to take other people's stuff, and then because people have been caught, even foreigners stealing stuff. It's not that they don't come here and do bad things. They do. So you find that if you're taken to jail, that will follow you. So all those stuff, those are the things that can, when you go to file for your citizenship as a permanent, or even to renew your citizenship, you will not get it. Why? Because you committed some crimes. So those are the things like you should not do. Something like filing your taxes. Of course, they can delay whatever maybe your citizenship, or tell you whatever they want depending on the law. But you find that something like filing taxes, you have to file taxes every year. They have to be filed. It's a must. You have to do it. Because your taxes, they determine a lot of things. Even there are some places that you will go for help and they will ask for your tax returns. Even school, for you to get something like a loan, a financial aid, you have to submit your taxes. So those are the things that when you come here, you have to learn. And that's why I'm telling you, when you come here as a permanent resident, read that book that they give you when they welcome you to the US. Read that book. It has so many resources and it tells you like what to do, where you can get help, where you can even go and get help that you don't even need to. I told you, like, there are some places that you can go when you have a baby, and 5 years you get free milk. That one you don't even need to be a permanent resident or whatever. You just walk in. So you find that you have to be there. So those things that will stop them. And I have that video, maybe I can link it on this one, that I have talked about the things that will not make them give you that renew your permanent residency, or renew or become a US citizen. You have to be very, very, very upright, because you find that, I've been following this case. There's this case of this guy, who had married, and I can talk about it now because now I know, like, the case is gone and everything. I know people had been prohibited to talk about it online when the case was going through. You find that this lady, she was killed mysteriously, and I think she was found in a bathtub or something. And then the man, he took her, he went and buried her even without telling the parents. And then after burying her, she was not found, and then finally they found out that he had went and buried her somewhere in the bush. I don't even know how she was buried. Like, like some things, like, they just make you, like, even worry, like, oh my gosh, like, how can someone do something like that? So if you come with that notion that you are going, maybe you are used to be beating up your wife or doing stuff to your wife, and you come with that notion over here, you will get in so much trouble you won't even believe it. So much trouble that you'll be like, I wish I was in Kenya. You will get in so much trouble, guys. So when you're coming here, know that here it's different. It's equality. I am not advocating for women not to respect their husbands or whatever, or maybe to say that the husband is not the head of the home. The husband will always be the head of the home. Even if you have a PhD, he will always be the head of the home. You have to stay in your lane. But you find that it's like an institution. You have to have those dialogues, because everybody is equal here in the US. Everybody is equal. So you have to have those dialogues, communicate. Even if you're not used to, I know, like, there's some marriages that people don't even talk. They just don't have even a conversation. You have to learn how to communicate with each other to make life easier here in the US, because it's going to be only the two of you. And if you come here as a permanent resident and you start fighting, you find that maybe there's someone else who has not had, they don't have papers and they don't know how to get papers. And maybe that person is eyeing your wife or your husband. And they will take them because they will benefit. They will benefit and they will get married to them and they will be nice to them and life goes on. So guys, when you come here, especially when you're married or whatever, you have to work together. If you do not work together, I don't know, it's not like Kenya. It's different, guys, and that's why I just wanna, like, open your eyes. When you're coming here, it's a different thing. Some people come here and they cannot even sustain the heat of being in the US, and 5 years down the line they're divorced, and then you are like, what was even the purpose of coming to the USA? Because they did not, like, adapt, because there's that culture shock. Like, there's those things that you have to change. When I tell you that you have to start life from the scratch, even your habits have to change. You have to know, even as a man, that it's time. Even if you get that work, it's CNA work, you have to go and maybe take care of those old people, wait on them. You will do it, because there is no man's work or woman's work. But if you say that I'm not going to do that, because most men, they don't do it, they just don't. Or maybe you find that there are some who will say that I am not going to wash the dishes, or I am not going to watch the kids. Who is going to do it? Because here, I told you have to work by schedule. Bills have to be paid. It's not like Africa, whereby maybe when you pay house rent, maybe you have some money somewhere, or maybe you have a farm that you can go and get some food. Here is different. Bills come every month, and it's important for everybody to have a job or to work so that you can help each other with the burden. So you find that if you have kids, you will work different schedules, whether you like it or not. You will work different schedules when you have kids, unless you have a lot of money to go and pay for a daycare, of which sometimes you are not able to, because it's very expensive. Sometimes you will go and ask for a daycare, it's $500. And when both of you are working, when you're having income, your income is higher. So even if you go to ask for help, you won't get much, because I told you guys, it depends on the income and the household. And you find that, like, people just come and like, the families, they become broken, and then you become sad. You're like, they were a good family when they were coming. Look at the kids. And you find that the kids are, because everybody has to take the responsibility. When you divorce, you find that the kids, this weekend they're here, the other weekend they're here. They don't, like, the kids, they don't have a good sense of direction. That's what I can say. So you find that when you are coming here, especially when you are married, you have to look beyond the success, the money, and just try and work together. just try and meet each other on the somewhere. Just meet each other on somewhere so that things can work, because life can be very tough here, guys. It can be so tough because you find that maybe you are working by schedule, so you don't have that time that you have, like, home. You go home, and maybe at 5 o'clock the wife is home and the husband will come home later, maybe at 8 or whatever time that they will come. So you'll always have time that that there is always that time that you have to be together every time, maybe in or whatever. But you find that here is different. Maybe you work at night and the other person works during the day, so the only time that you have for each other is when it's on your day off. And still on your day off, sometimes that stuff still happens, you know what I mean? So you find that being apart, like being distance from each other, is very easy. And you find that most people cannot handle that. I don't know why, but they just cannot handle that. So you find that 5 years down the line, those people are divorced, and then you're like, what was even the purpose? Because I remember when I came in to the US, like I had stayed for, I remember we had just gotten our apartment. So and you will always have those challenges. Those challenges, they will always be there. So I remember I had this friend, and that's why, like, for me, I like being an individual. I like doing my own stuff. I like doing me, because when I do me, I know, like, this one, even if I fail, I will question myself. I am not going to question someone else. So I remember I was just having a conversation with this friend, and then she just, out of nowhere, she told me, you know what? Here in the US, a man cannot tell you what to do. If a man brings the head, they become a big head. It's very easy to divorce them. You just go, you divorce them, and that's it. And you can live your own life, and you can. I was like, what? Like, she just blurted out, like, from nowhere. I was like, but I told her, if coming to the US is what is going to break my marriage, and then I wish then I would not have come. Because what's the purpose of coming? And you had a very nice family, you had kids, because all the time when divorce happens, the kids are the ones that suffer. The adults, they're fine. But the kids suffer because they are taking them back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes you have to go to court because someone does not want to pay child support, because you have to pay child support, and all that stuff goes on. So guys, when you're prepared, especially when you win your green card, or whatever way that you come here to the US and you come with your family, make sure that you meet each other somewhere, and you always have those conversations. If something goes wrong, always consult one another. Do not go consulting out there, because it's different here, guys. It's so different. I don't know what I can tell you guys, but it's very, very different. It's very, very different. But all I can do, and all I do, is just wish that you guys can win the green card and come and live here. It's good, but there are so disadvantages. Because I remember there was a person who asked me, and I hope that I have answered the question. What don't you like about US? What I don't like about US is, like, you don't even have time even to meet with your friends, or maybe go to church. The way we used to, I remember I used to go to church, and then in the evening at 3 we would have that meeting that would go and just have a prayer and all that time. That one is not there. That communion with your friends, even those big weddings, they are not there. Even funerals, they are not there, because you find that it's coming back a little bit, but you find that the way, like, you will go to a village and you find that someone has died and everybody is there, like the whole village has gone to the funeral. You find that here it's very little people. Sometimes maybe it's your friends who are going to show up because of schedule. All those things they're not there. If now, like, if you live even in a plot, let me just say, even in Nairobi, in a plot, you find that everybody knows everybody, even if they're not talking much. Because I know in Nairobi there's some individuality of some point, but it is not like here. You find that here it is you and your family. Even you will stay like a month, you have not seen your neighbor. They are there, but you have not seen your neighbor. And even when you meet them, it's not a must that you say hi. It's not that you hate each other, but it's not a must. Maybe you'll wave and whatever, and that's it. Because everybody does individual. It's individual life. So that one is not here. It's just not here. And that's what I miss most. Like going, and maybe that's why I started a YouTube channel. I was like, maybe maybe I want to be talking to people or whatever, but you find that that one, you will not find it here. So when you're coming here, know that you're coming here to live an individual life, and make it to your best. If it is your family, make sure that your family will be the best. If it's your kid, try all your best. There's a point that you cannot control your children, but at the same time, do all your best, so that even when you sit back, you will be like, I did all my best. I provided them with everything. I showed them the right way. Now they made their own path. You see what I mean? If it's even something, Africa, we are so much rooted on religion. So much, like, when we grew up, we would go to church and do all that stuff. But you find that when you come here, because of the schedule, sometimes you can even forget even to go to church. It's very easy, especially if you're working a shift that at the time that you're supposed to go to church, you're supposed to be at work. You know, I have a friend that I really respect. I really respect that girl. She goes to the Sabbath. She's a Sabbath, and when she goes to work, I remember when she came to our work. I've worked with her for a while now, for like 1 year. The first thing she said was like she cannot work on Friday because on Saturday she has to go to church. And she has stuck to that. And if you call her, you tell her to come to work on Friday and on Saturday she has to go to church. She will not. Like, I really like that about like that girl. I look at her, I'm like, now this is what we want. Like our religion, like we have that time that if I am not going to go to work on Sunday, then I will not go to work because I have to go to church. And you have to have that communion with God because you really need God. Around here, you really need God. You really do need God, guys. When you like, I don't know what I can tell you, but you really do. Do not lose your values that you grew up with over there and try to change. Hmm? Always, like I told you, like even in schools you find that my kids go to a Catholic school. I chose for them to go to a school that has a religion because I felt like since I grew up in a Christian home, then I think it would be wrong if I took them somewhere else. But to some extent, even my son, my oldest son, went to a high school, like a Catholic high school. Like I made sure that he did. So I know that he will not lose those values. You know, he's not going to lose them, even if in his old age, he will always remember the values that they were taught. You see what I mean? But then I have my daughter. I had to transfer from that school to take to another school. But I told you guys in public schools they don't teach religion, and it's not because that they hate God. It's because that they are Muslims, they are Asians, they are Africans, they are Christians, they are, all those religions, they are Hindu, everybody. This is a diverse country. So you find that they cannot like say that we are going to be teaching this kind of religion because here you cannot tell someone, like, like the way like people preach in Africa and they want to bring everybody to their religion, especially the Pentecost. I know, like they go and I think you have seen that whereby you meet someone and that person is saved. And I'm not against anybody who is saved. I'm just saying an example. And maybe you are another religion, or maybe you're Catholic. You find that that person will try to preach to you so that you can join their religion. I've seen all that. But the thing that I want to say is that here is different. You cannot do that. That is wrong. It's so wrong. Like you cannot tell someone to come to your religion. So you find that those schools, they don't have that. So for me to balance, I have to make sure that I am still taking my daughter back to church. Because if I don't, then she will forget because they are not taught that. You see what I mean? So those are the things that you have to come, that in mind. So you are like, which path are you gonna take for you to be successful? Because what you grew up with doesn't go away from you. It doesn't. And that's why, even when someone who becomes very drunk and they're doing bad things, you see, have you ever met someone who's drunk and they're just singing songs that are whatever, religious songs? Because that is what was implanted in that person when they were little. Even you find that when you grow old, the old people who have grown here and they have taught, like I'm used to speaking so much English, although I speak my language with my husband. When I grow old and I'm still here in the US, when you grow very old, you find that your mind reverts back. And instead of speaking English, you go back to speaking your mother language. That is what you speak with. I've seen that a lot. You find that someone, when they grow old, they go back there because that is how you grow up. So you have to keep that. You really have to keep up with the best for your family and the best for whatever that you're doing so that you can be successful. Because if you're not, then you will lose your way. It's very easy to. I know you have seen people online who have come in and they say that they have been in the US for so many years. They didn't even get papers because they got absorbed in stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that you can get absorbed with here, and you look back 30 years later and you have not done anything, guys. So that happens. That happens a lot. Okay, let me see. Nas Creation. Hi, Charity. Good to see you. Um, Jaria Nasimbambi. Hi, Charity. Thanks for the great work. Carol Edan. Thanks, Amon, for the good information. Which city are you in? I live in Wichita, Kansas, guys. And Pauline joined in late. Hello, Bubbly Charity. Thank you for joining me. I think I've talked a lot today. I think I've talked to a lot today, but I was just answering that question of that person who was asking me, like, what I don't like about here. Um, those are the things that like I feel like I miss, but I really, for me, I'm just happy like to be here, because even for my kids, they will have a better life as compared to if they were in Kenya, because I look at my friends and even their kids. I see like the struggle, even for the young people, even to get jobs. It's hard because you find that you take your child, you take them to school, you take them to college, you take them to university, but at the end of the day, they're not getting a job. Why? Because it's who do you know or how much money do you have for you to get a job? Yeah, it's different. I told you everybody here gets a job. It doesn't matter. Even if you are in a wheelchair, you will get a job because that's how it is. US, like that's what I love about this country. There are those things that I don't like, but they're for me, like just being here and even being able even to go to school. If I was still in Kenya, maybe I would still be running my small college there in Kayole, just doing hairdressing and beauty. But I had that chance to go back to school and to become a nurse. Of course, I'm still going back. Maybe 5 years down the line, I will be something different. Maybe I'll be a lecturer teaching in a university somewhere. You see what I mean? So your life changes. I told you guys your life changes, but you have to have that mindset. When I go there, I am going to be successful. And even your kids, show them. When you go to school or whatever you do, you will become successful. And you have to show by example. You have to be a good example to your kids, guys. So it's been 1 hour, 4 minutes, guys, and I hope that we have had a conversation there. I've tried to answer most of the questions. I don't know if there are any more. Let me see if there is any more. Let me see. Sheila, we are the richest people. Stay in the US. Yeah, richness is good, but still our values are still very important. For me, I think values are important. Even if I get all the money in the world and I do not have values and I do not have something to leave to my children, or I do not have something to come and talk here on Charities Bob, and just to influence. If what I say is that if I change one person's life, for me, that will be good. That will be good. If just one person. If I came here and talk about green card, and next year I see like someone has won a green card, oh my gosh, that day I will celebrate. I will celebrate with that person. Okay, Charity, can you do a video on exchange programs? Yes, I have. Actually, I have prepared that topic. Actually, I was researching on it because I know I've been busy, so I've been sidetracked a little bit, but I've been doing a lot of things that I was doing. But I have that one on my table. Actually, it's here on my table, and that is the video that I'm going to do next about the exchange programs. I know that there were some people who was asking me about au pair. I've read about it now. I can come and talk about that. I can also talk about other ways, but there's something that I told you guys to keep in mind that if you are booking for an interview right now, do not expect that you will get an interview that is close to you, because they are not there right now. And I told you there's a very big backlog because of COVID. So you find that maybe the interviews, which are not very imagined, they have pushed them back. So you find that maybe in Nairobi, maybe if you're coming as a student or maybe as a visitor, you might be pushed all the way up to March. So that one is happening. So even if you are booking for an appointment, you can start now, but it's always good maybe to push your appointment all the way to be beyond March of next year, because that's what is happening at this time. You have to be able to do that. So you have to keep that in mind. But I'm going to talk about that. I haven't forgotten about it. I am going to talk about that. And I think I think I have answered every question. So I will do that video on exchange program. Caro, I have it here on my table. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna prepare it and then I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna post it, guys. So it's been it's been fine. It's been fun, guys. 1 hour, 7 minutes. I am going to end this live show. And thank you for being with me. I saw we went all the way up to there was a time that we went all the way up to 40 people. I really do appreciate when you come to my shows. So please share my videos, make comments. I really do appreciate that. Share, tell people to subscribe so that we can be many. I do appreciate. We're almost going to 3,000 subscribers, and I know we'll go at a pace, and eventually maybe I have long-term goals for me, and I know that you grow steadily and steadily. But the only way that this channel can grow is for you subscribing, is for you sharing my videos, is for you just telling, sharing the good information, and that's how we roll, guys. So I am going to leave you right now. It's 1 hour, 8 minutes. I've done the live show for 1 hour, 8 minutes, and I'll see you on Monday. I can do another live show on Monday, the same time at noon. So thank you. I'm going to end with that one. Grace Wairimo, thank you. Thanks a lot for the video. You are welcome. And Carol Zambo, thank you and have a blessed day. So thank you, guys, and I'll see you soon.